We managed to raise enough funds, and in 2009, our first season premiered.
XYZ is Africa's political satire puppet television show produced in Kenya.
That is what I'm talking about. I will admit you for both political and criminal responsibilities.
Over the years, there has been the entourage of some politicians who have called the TV stations and broadcasters to complain about the show.
Mostly people are okay with it because it's funny, it's satire.
We've had people complaining about some politicians about how they look. so we've had that.
Come on, Raila. Are you telling me that you will be running in 2017?
You see, careful. My friend Emilio Kibaki told me one time that's a golfer who keeps scratching his balls and admiring them each and every time will never win because he will never hit them. A
man who keeps scratching his balls.
Yes.
One last question, my brother.
XYZ is a show that introduced Kenyans to a new form of television satire, all complete with life-size puppets.
XYZ is sort of a comedy, but then it has a different expression, mostly politics.
Originally, when I started looking at it, it was during the campaigns. It was quite making fun of politicians and their affiliations. But later on, I realized it's more than that.
The Kenyan public has always been fascinated with the lives of influential personalities. XYZ rewarded Kenyans with a playful and humorous point of view into their lives.
The memorable clip is the one we did, and we had President Kibaki and Prime Minister Raila in jail in The Hague. Because I think at that time nobody thought that we could do something like that.
Wacha kucheza poka, cheza kadi vizuri. Unaficha yeye wapi wewe?
Ngoja, poka kitu gani?
President Kibaki and Prime Minister Raila Odinga were running a coalition government and were also being investigated by the International Criminal Court. ICC queried their involvement in fueling the violence that followed their contentious presidential elections in 2008. President Kibaki and Prime Minister Raila Odinga were also suspicious of one another.
Sawa, leta nivurute, leta.
Wacha kuficha kadi chini. Weka kadi zako hapa juu tuangalie.
Kadi gani? Kadi gani unasema? Ujui kuhesabu, umeanza kuwa kipofu.
So during the peace process, it was very interesting that everyone was expecting, of course, Kibaki and Raila to be hauled in. And it was very interesting that it's Uhuru and Ruto who are at the forefront of the whole mess. So we decided to roll with it because as satirists, I mean, stories may not, take the course to which you're thinking they're going to go. But, we tried to make at least fun of that because that was interesting in itself.
We're basically saying that, the two principals were responsible for what happened in Kenya, however you want to look at it.
Nataka kutoka hapa ili niweze kuanza campaign. Siwezi kuwa hapa president kama niko hapa jela.
That's true. That's true.
That was quite bold. At the time, we didn't know if we were going to run into trouble. Some of our writers were very, very worried. And then nothing happened. So it was very important for us because we noticed how far we could go. And from that point on, we just kept going further and further and never had any problem.
This is season 5, yeah?
Yeah, so like 5.
So I'm wondering what is saying 91?
No, 10 years, 10 episodes. No, I was confusing with that 10 episodes.
10 seasons.
10 seasons.
XYZ is the first of its kind, obviously. I mean, it's a brilliant show. It's never been done before. And the fact that I'm part of it is actually just amazing. It's made me the happiest writer ever. As a creative, you want to find a place that challenges you, that is able to influence change, and you work with people who are just brilliant at what they do.
How did she do?
Boni Media produces the XYZ show at the Go Down Arts Center, which is a hub for diverse and creative artists.
The Go Down Arts Center is a great place. It has been wonderful to us, and I think to many other artists. We have worked well with them. You know, we are doing everything here. You know, so it has been great for us.
It's the right spot to interact. Okay, nice.
The creatives of the XYZ series are recording an episode of the show.
The thing is, can he start the interview waving it and then he places it down?
Gado makes sure that he always comes to set his, he wants to give his own input. I mean, for actually about 4 seasons, Gado actually used to draw the storyboards. So he understood the challenges of shooting a puppet show, and more or less because he conceived the idea. So he tried to bridge the challenges of filming by using his cartoon background to storyboard for us, which made our work a whole lot easier and improved our efficiency.
And then I blow them up and then put them in the air and I'll press them. Because of my background, it was easy then for the transition to become an editorial cartoonist or a satirist, in the sense that I found a perfect match in commenting, in having a voice in what is happening, and then expressing my own views in what is going on.
And it is because of him doing those storyboards that, in fact, we actually started a storyboard department that has actually been used to generate other concepts for Boni.
In the beginning, I did sketches for the workshop department, and but then we quickly recruited very good illustrators, and the team was able to do that on their own.
It's taking shape. I'm not doing badly.
Actually, Gado, the producer, would tell us to make character X. So what we do is actually to go out and do some research, get a number of his photographs, maybe from the internet, or from the libraries. Then with these photographs, you'd then set to do a caricature drawing of this particular character.
Satire is the art of exaggerations, and it's the art of offending people, and so you find features that are funnier, bigger, and you work with them. You extend them, you play around with them so that to create that humorous look. The ears are good.
There are also technical issues like the neck, for example. You see it's not straight, so we'll have to cut that and get it straight so it fits into the body.
Ross Franks, the head of Boni Workshop, supervises the creation of these puppets. It takes about a month to create one puppet at an approximate cost of about $6,000 US.
We work the inside to create these features. This is where the thumb will go in for the manipulation, and that's where the fingers will go in. And then you also have to create space for the eyes as well.
The sculpture will then be put into an oven and baked.
I'll then close the oven. This will have to sit in here for 3 hours, and it will cook at a temperature of 100 degrees.
After 3 hours, the mask will be washed and dried. It will then be sprayed to the right complexion of the person it represents. After spraying is complete, hair is sewn into the puppet's scalp and eyebrows. Then the eyes get fixed, which is a very complex process and takes about 5 to 8 hours to assemble the pieces together.
This particular one moves the eyes from left to right. This one pushes the eyelids down and up.
Now this is the wardrobe department where the bodies are then dressed and the head is put inside the body, so it's ready to go on set.
Put the head inside the body. And then it has an opening here. And yeah, you're good to go. It's it's fixed.
Sonko.
Nyati madhe.
Hii ni chama ya maua.
Ai, kwani unadhani sijui hiyo story?
Sonko lazima tulinde maua.
Since it premiered, XYZ has featured over 100 different puppets, all made in Nairobi at the Buni Workshop. Of all the characters featured on XYZ, Martha Karua was the first Kenyan politician to visit the XYZ set.
People who have run for presidency and failed should not run come 2012. Hata Wakenya wamechoka kuyaona majina yao kwenye ballot papers. Tell him not to expect.
Martha Karua was being the politician that she is. I mean, you know, we could not avoid her, and so it was inevitable that we do her puppet long before she visited our set.
It's Madam President to you.
Sorry, Madam President.
For us as XYZ, it was also, we were happy in essence because she was leading other leaders in showing them that even if we're pursuing all this serious interest for the nation, sometimes it's good to just take a step back and embrace art.
Daktari, welcome to XYZ.
Asante sana, I'm very happy to be here.
Dr. Alfred Mutua was the first official Kenyan government spokesman and public communications secretary. Dr. Mutua also visited the XYZ set.
And especially around the campaign time, many leaders wanted to visit here to have sort of a visit the set of XYZ and have a meet and greet and a photo session so that it can be put up in their campaign posters and be seen as progressive.
Na jina langu ni Alfred Mutua na tunajivunia kuwa wa Kenya.
There's actually quite a few other politicians who have sometimes, you know, let us know that they would be willing to come. Some of them hesitate and then they don't show up, but we're always open to this kind of things. We think it's great because it shows also how far the Kenyan political class has gone. And today they recognize that it's a good thing for a show like the XYZ show to be around, and they can take the criticism and they can actually find the humor in it themselves. So that's great.
XYZ has traveled all the way to this remote Somali town of Bardare. Finally, Sheikh.
Yes?
You have always said that the Al-Shabaab are fighting to secure a better Somalia. But who exactly comprises the Al-Shabaab?
Mr. Journalist.
Yes.
You don't know anything.
No.
Al-Shabaab is me. And the Al-Shabaab is you.
Oh my.
And the Al-Shabaab is those people standing behind you with their guns.
What? Oh my God. Oh my God. Those two infidels?
Don't worry, they are Kenyans.
Really?
The Al-Shabaab group, an Islamic terrorist organization, have claimed responsibility for many bombings around the world. In 2013, Kenya experienced one of the worst terrorist atrocities ever perpetrated on its soil, when unidentified gunmen attacked the upmarket Westgate shopping mall in Nairobi, and the siege continued at the mall for several days. Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility for the incident.
The Westgate story obviously was very sensitive and still is. So we had to find an angle that we could actually make fun of and not insult or affect the people who lost their lives. So it was pretty difficult to come up with something that we could laugh at and still that we could satirize. It was very difficult, but we actually managed to come up with some skits, especially the ones for the guards, to poke fun at the guards who went shopping instead of actually taking care of security matters. Actually, we did hear stories that the guards actually went in and shopped for themselves and were leaving with paper bags instead of actually rescuing people. And the fact that they could do that at such a time was so, it was inconceivable.
Na kama wewe ni civilian, piga nduru tukuokoe, tukuje tukuokoe. We are GTF and Kenyans trust us.
All clear. All clear. The area is secure. Roger. Over.
Target acquired. Over. Wacha ni secure hii cash box. Kwanza hii right inakaa iko na manoti.
Hapo uko sawa. Cause unajua materrorists wanaweza tumia hizo pesa mtu yangu.
Yes, tuchukue simu zote, si ndio? Kwa sababu unajua materrorists wanaweza tumia kuangalia time, kutuma SMS, Please call me to my face.
We sat down and created stories centering around security and how to curb such incidents from happening. What can we do as a country, as citizens, as the members who are elected to ensure that security in our country is top-notch? And we decided to basically focus on security as a whole.
Hizi makamera naona huko ndani. Tuchukue zote. Jua materrorists wanaweza kuzitumia kupiga picha.
Hapo umesema ukweli. Hizo box hizo za mabiskit hizo. Ai, hizi niko kuzinazi pepa sana. Unajua hizi materrorists wanaweza chukua wakule washipe. Alafu ngoja ni pepe. Nikupepe mbili.
Hapana, unaona hapa kuna paper bag. Wacha nijipange nikuletee tuweke kila kitu hapo.
Niletee paper bag pia mimi.
Nakuletea.
The objective of XYZ is not only to make people laugh and make fun of the situations that we find ourselves in, but also to inspire some kind of social change. Not necessarily the government, but as an individual. What can you do as an individual to change the situation in your own country? That's basically what we try to achieve.
But I don't sit this side.
Nimefika mapema but mmesindaje?
Tuko poa binti. Hata mimi ndio naingia. Mgeni.
Yes. Oh, good. Baby, sasa huyu ndiye msaidizi. Nilifikiri ni
I need to probably cut mapema.
Much earlier.
Yes. No woman will just be screaming by the she should go and just grab that woman's neck.
No, but she's not going to grab him.
Yeah, but maybe we need to just
just have to cut to a different shot.
Yeah.
XYZ's influence has been looked at with skepticism and some measure of criticism, but its satirical train still surges on.
We keep receiving calls from countries around the world who want to make similar shows.
There is a similar show going on in Tanzania with a different formats. We had actually people in Senegal invited us to Dakar.
We've had calls from, Zambia to even Libya at some point.
We were discussing one with Marie, and we just felt, well, it could be actually interesting for a show like XYZ to, to happen in Nigeria.
Ogas at the Top is a popular puppet show that went viral upon its inception in 2014.
Ogas at the Top is a show that's been born out of XYZ. It's our XYZ version of Nigeria.
Nigeria will be holding general elections early next year.
Of course.
So far, the opposition appears disorganized.
No.
Will you seriously challenge President Jonathan?
No, of course.
The good thing is at least almost about 80% of our voice artists are Nigerians. So in essence, by the time that we record the voices, they come we get the authentic feel.
Jesus said, it is easier for heaven and earth to pass away than for my word to fail. Therefore say it once again, it can never fail. It can never fail.
Yeah, it's a new show, and I'm Kenyan. I'm Kenyan, so trying to work with Nigerians, because there is this misconception that every Nigerian who is in Kenya can be a voice artist, and of course we don't get that. So we have a very limited pool to recruit from.
Your Excellency, sir, there's something wrong with the engine. The engineers are saying that even if it starts, it will be dangerous to take off.
Puppetry imitates the voice. So I think it can be done anywhere in the world, as long as you get the content and the story right, and you get the people with the right accents. I mean, it happens in Hollywood. They do movies about Africa, and we can as well still do stories about Nigeria while based in Kenya.
Let me tell you, I told God that this thing looks like an interview, because they're sitting down. I hope they fixed it.
Currently, we are filming President Jonathan's. It's a scene that was set in a jet, and we're looking at problems, facing Nigeria. So it's problems to do with fuel, and in essence, showing that the president, albeit the president of Nigeria being big and expecting a pompous life, they're still dealing with small problems that you should not be expecting within a presidential escort or presidential administration.
Your Excellency, sir. There's something wrong with the engine. Engine could fail in mid-flight.
Okay, so get one of the other 9 jets in the fleet.
So none of them are available.
What do you mean? Where are they?
Right now, 3 are flying in the ladies for Madam Patience Girls Evening. Another 2 went to get groceries from Waitrose in London. One is a 4.5-hour flight away from us, and so the last 3, they're being serviced.
Why did I buy so many jets if I can't even have one as my spare jet? I honestly wish people would give me some respect as the president of the
sir,
country.
It's not like that, sir.
So, where is the...
President Goodluck Jonathan had a rapid rise to power, and many Nigerians believed his name had given him an advantage. During his reign as president, he failed to deal with the many problems facing Nigeria, including Boko Haram insurgency, corruption, piracy, oil theft, among others. President Goodluck would only focus on petty domestic issues.
I found a solution, Your Excellency. I've managed to get Pastor Arisha Jaffo. We need divine intervention here, sir.
Father, let no one come between you and His Excellency.
President Goodluck was said to be extremely close to pastors from the Pentecost Church. These pastors get wealthy by the day from performing miracles.
I want you all to say, it can never fail.
It can never fail.
Say it again one more time so that the Lord can hear you.
It can never fail.
Okay. So how much is he going to charge us now?
He will send us an invoice.
Ogaz at the top continues XYZ's tradition of painting with humor the social and political aspects of Nigeria.
Nigerians are very, very plugged in, and when there's something that they like, it spreads very fast. So from 0, we went to 50,000 in less than 4 weeks. So we're very, very happy with that. Obviously, we want to push this further.
From Kenya to Tanzania to Nigeria, the XYZ show is showing the world that leadership in Africa can do with a little criticism and humor, thus making the society a better place.
Kenya has one of the sort of most open democracies. And in essence, we are sort of ahead, ahead of other African countries. But even as XYZ started here, the feeling across the continent was that we still were bound by that whole, suppression of different freedoms. We could not just talk freely about different issues affecting society.
Press freedom, of course, is very important. And it's really done a lot for us writers, because now we can express ourselves more. But I still feel that you can't really talk about the real issues openly and freely as you would like. You have to be, sensitive. That's why you have to satirize, because in satire, you can be subtle and actually say what you really want to say up front.
The Kenyan Treasury has repaid 164 million shillings stolen from the education kitty to Britain's Department for International Development, topping up 14 million shillings refunded in July. That's your taxes, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my.
Where's my money?
Pesa tuko nayo mingi. Iko. Pesa iko.
Yes. Speak English, mate. Where in the Queen's knickers is my money?
Where? Don't speak to us like that. Usituongeleshe namna hiyo. Ukoloni uliisha.
The public does not agree with satirists or commentators all the time, but that's the good or the bad thing about, being a satirist.
A good show. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think
Kenya has come a long way since the days of one party, where you had very few people who would challenge the government of the day.
In the Kenyan parliament, it is not about serving the people.
Gado acknowledges the fact that the XYZ show is being broadcast shows a freedom of media in Kenya that he appreciates. The XYZ's sister show in South Africa was banned from the air. In many countries, satirists wouldn't even dare try.
Before I started working, things were much harder, and artists and journalists were arrested and they were imprisoned, and they fought for all these, rights that we're enjoying.
There's nothing as amazing as seeing your own skit on TV being performed the way you visualized it, and there's no greater fulfillment than that.
But before you see that, the show on Sunday, it's a consolidated effort by everybody trying to do their best. That for me is an ideal thing, and happy to be here. Bonnie.
I've always been an artist, so actually, yeah, this, of course, it's just a different direction, and like just a piece of sculpture you give to somebody, or maybe somebody displays in his house. Of course, it serves entertainment and dissemination of information, things like that. So I think it's even more interesting.
Even though we would want to see even better improvements and to see a better show in each season.
Thanks to the success of the XYZ show, Buni Media has grown to employ over 88 staff members and also expanded to produce various other projects while always pursuing its mission to create entertainment that challenges the social and political status quo in Africa.
We're excited. I mean, personally, having directed XYZ and now Oga's at the top, much as I have big love for Kenya and big love for XYZ, I really hope Oga's at the top becomes bigger show than XYZ.
Alongside his responsibilities at Buni Media, Gado continues his acclaimed career as the most syndicated political cartoonist in East and Central Africa. As for keeping an eye on the country's politicians, Gado believes it's not his job alone, in that every Kenyan should contribute to expose what is happening and to expose corruption.
I don't think I would make it as a politician. I think I would miserably fail. I would love to do what I'm doing. I would love to do it all over again, by the way.
The ICC has drunk from the poisoned fountains of imperialism. The spirit and pride and sovereignty of Africa as a continent will stand for centuries to come. Africa will have its own courts. We will try ourselves in there because we are self-sufficient and we are self-serving.
Africa is the continent of the future. Let's fight.